let them get behind us.
Get to the emissary leader! Cut it down and they're done! Don't let that emissary leader control the battle! This is our fight!
Hello everyone, Daily Distraction here, and just wanted to show you what I'm doing with my rogue. I've turned it into an Artificer. As you probably know, one of the most overpowered specs in the game. I'll be playing bow and dual wield, switching off and on depending on what I'm feeling like at the time. But for the archery one-shot dragon kills, I mean, everyone knows about the hail of arrows cheese, but you can kill them without the focus very easily, 10 or 12 seconds. But I wanted to show you the spec that I went at level 20. We'll start off with the Archery Tree. I got all the passives on the way to Leaping Shot. This is going to be your bread and butter of the archery build, with Shot from the Shadows to make you stealth every single time you do it, so the boss doesn't really have a chance to hit you, or monsters don't have a chance to hit you. Then on this side, I grabbed all the passives because it's just more damage. I don't use Explosive Shot very often, so I didn't have the skill points to grab the chain reaction, but I probably would if I was a few more levels higher. But we wanted Pincushion. This with 13 archers at once, plus throwing blades, it increases your damage by a lot. And the Poison Tree, or the Sabotage Tree. For boss fights, I use poison weapons, and I use Infected Wounds for bosses at just 25% more damage. You can't really say no to it. When I'm playing, just trying to do quests solo out there, I will switch over to Leeching Poison to try and stay alive, because, yeah, we are squishy. On this side, we will never use Caltrops, but we have to get it. Look like it hurt is mandatory. No matter what Artificer spec you choose, you will need this, because this is how you keep your stamina up, so you can keep chaining stuff. So you stack crit a lot. And then Hook and Tackle with it beats Walking, where it has no cooldown, doesn't cost any stamina. You will use this to pull yourself real close to the boss, and then Leaping Shot away, guaranteeing all your arrows hit it. Take Cheap Shot, yeah, another Sunder, more damage, and then we take Throwing Blades along with Precision Targeting, more damage as well. And Subterfuge Tree, we take Stealth and Cleaning Shadows, so it keeps us in stealth. And then the Artificer Tree, the only skill I really use in this tree is Elemental Mines. I will throw everything as soon as I get more skill points, but I didn't have it yet. But that will be my next point right here. We grab all the passives. We don't use Spike Trap. You can, but I don't like it. I feel like it's clunky and slows me down. Opportunity Knocks is why Artificer is so overpowered. Every time you crit, it reduces your cooldowns by 0.5 seconds. When you are using Throwing Blades, along with Hail of Arrows, or even just Leaping Shot, you have no cooldown at all. You can spam it, as long as you have stamina. And that's why we took that regained stamina on crit as well. They have Fallback Plan. I don't use it. Some people are really good with it. I'm not, so I don't use it. Tricks of Trade, more damage. Can't say no to it. And more crit chance. You stack crit in this build. Some people stack way too much, but I'll go over that in a minute. When we get a bit higher, around 25, 26, I will be grabbing this passive here. I know it's in the Dagger Tree, but it works for bows too. It says more damage. Let's go over our stats. So I make my equipment to have a little bit more dex, which gives us more attack power and critical hit damage. We're sitting at 95% attack. This can be higher if you have all the equipment. I haven't done the deep roads yet, so I haven't got it all. My critical hit damage is 185. It's 5% short from cap. 190 is the soft cap. It might even be the hard cap. I don't really understand it. And then I'm sitting at 61% crit chance, which I think is more than enough. It's what you saw the footage earlier with, and I think it's perfectly fine. You can go a little bit more, you know, make things more comfortable, like when you're just playing the game and doing your quests and grinding. But I think 61 is enough. On my equipment, we are using... I'll just come over here, it'll be easier. We're using the Gruntsman bow. This will give you one masterwork. and you have 3 offensive leather spots. For this bow, I craft all crit chance onto it. After that, on the grip, I decided I had enough crit chance, so I used... where is it? I used a wrapped longbow grip and made 36 more dex onto mine. And that bumped my attack power up and my critical hit damage to almost cap. You have 2 options for it for the masterwork. We have 3 really. You can do it explodes when you kill something too for more AoE. For boss fights, they tend to not even have a chance to even look at you, so I do 30% more damage to make sure they don't have a chance to look at me here. And for when I'm doing content like Deep Roads or, you know, any of the other quests, I do guard on hit, and this keeps us alive. For the armor, I'm going to show you a trick that not many people know. We're actually using light armor, and we're using the refined... we're using superior battle mage armor because it's got more utility slots. And what you can do is, it says mage only, as you can see here, but if you go under the Dale's Loden Wool and make it that way, it removes it. See, that mage only is gone. So you can use it on anything by doing that. So on mine, I use hidden blades on my chest always, because no matter what I'm doing, I always use hidden blades. Yeah, I find it easier to swap weapons. And I stacked as much dex as I could for more attack power, more critical hit damage. Usually it's casters that wreck me, so I went with magic defense. It's personal preference there. And there was one last slot for health, so I grabbed that on the legs. Just because there's no better option. But honestly, that 64 health is not going to make you live. For the sigil, we're using the bear sigil that you can farm in Emerald Graves off the Great Bears there, and that gives us more stamina. For the accessories, I'm using Belt of Focus because Hail of Arrows is absurdly overpowered. You don't have to use this though. You could use Belt of Life if you prefer that, or more defense by the Resistance Belt. When you get into the DLCs, the belt that has 10% crit chance will be the go-to. But you only get to use that towards the end of the game. For the rings, I used a 1 ring from Black Imperium that has crit chance and crit damage, because I just needed a tad bit more crit damage to get the cap. And then for the other one, you can pretty much put whatever you want here. Your crit damage cap there, so that's a waste. I'm using 5% attack because that's what I have. Once I do the Deep Roads, I'll probably put the 10% crit chance ring here. For the amulet, for the archery, we're using Malika's Guard. You can get this if you have the Inquisition perk, Deft Hands, after you do the Meet the Warden quest and Close the Rift Underneath the Water in Crestwood. From there you can loot this and you'll get an Amulet of Power as well. If I'm melee, I wouldn't use this because flanking damage, if you don't know, is bugged for archers. We basically don't, it doesn't do anything. You can't flank with archery, so it's just all good for us. If you're a dual wield artificer, you would want to use the Amulet of Barrier to stay alive though. That is it for this, and we'll go over to dual wield setups next.